Ken Trahan Toyota of New Orleans, I-10 Service Road in New Orleans East. LSU is ranked 7th this week in the AP poll, so they climb a bit because other teams lost. Not so much because of their own performance, which was lackluster over an outmanned Eastern Michigan team that didn't play like it. They were competitive much of the way as the LSU Tigers get the win. The boogeyman, Leonard Fournette. What else can you say? This young man is special. We just keep singing his praises, and why not? The one-man wrecking crew. Phenomenal performance again by Fournette. Over 200 yards for a third straight game. Of course, he's running in space, but the speed for such a big man is remarkable. Changes hands there with the ball. Just runs away from people, runs to daylight. And just a brilliant player. Calls mom. Always call mom. It's a smart thing to do. And then, of course, the pick six. And, you know, a Jesuit young man, Debo Jones, you got to be happy for him. And LSU wins it as they take care of business 44-22. Leonard Fournette, 233 yards rushing. I mentioned the Debo Jones pick. LSU with 479 total yards. And they get back in SEC play at South Carolina this coming Saturday morning. Okay, Brian, so I guess you could say they're playing to the level of their competition. They weren't very good at Syracuse against an average team and won, and they weren't any good against Eastern Michigan against a bad team and won. Can they just flip the switch when they get back in SEC play?
That's a great question, Kenny. I mean, it looks like, you know, if they need a play to be made, they turn and hand the ball to 7. And that's a pretty good recipe so far. But there's a couple of teams down the road, and we know who they are. Florida upsets Ole Miss, and then Alabama takes care of Georgia. I mean, you know, so those two teams that LSU is going to have to take care of. But look, Leonard Fournette just keeps churning. I mean, he's going to break Charlie Alexander's record soon, okay, if not this week. But this guy is unbelievable. Sets an SEC record for his 3rd consecutive 200-yard game. I mean, that's pretty steep company. He's eclipsing a lot of great backs in this conference as a sophomore.
And I mean, you know, looking at him from high school, ain't nothing changed. I mean, look like he's the same guy, the same speed. But, you know, you're going to measure him with the Alabamas and the Florida because the schools that he playing, you know, you look for him to get what he got. So his measuring stick will become when he play Alabama and Florida.
Well, keep in mind, they've also got Texas A&M, who's undefeated.
Yeah, right. That's
and Ole
exactly
Miss,
right.
even though they lost last week, they're still good. They won at Tuscaloosa. They've got to be good. So the schedule's going to get a lot more difficult. I'm just not sure who this LSU team is yet. I'm just not sure because Mississippi State was the opener, and they're not as good as they were last year. And Auburn clearly is nowhere near as good as they've been. So I'm not sure how good LSU is.
Yeah, Kenny, and I'll tell you what, there was a little concern when you see Brandon Harris struggle. Okay, and he did not play well against Eastern Michigan. Alabama is good against the run. They've shown it, all right? If you stop LSU, Brandon Harris is going to have to win a game or two down the road, I think, and he's got to be more consistent than what he showed Saturday.
Well, you can see these guys haven't got the pressure that Alabama going to bring with them. So that's going to be the key.
Yeah.
Florida and Alabama are going to bring a lot of pressure with them.
Well, I mean, this is an LSU team that's going to need its quarterback to step up.
Yeah.
Brian's right. He should have put up good numbers against Eastern Michigan. I'm sorry. He did not. Accuracy issues, obviously. Receivers need to do a better job, too. It's twofold. They have to have a reliable passing game to have a chance to win these big games in the SEC. It was a great weekend for Tulane as well. The Green Wave came home, and Yeoman Stadium was good to them as they took care of Central Florida, 45-31. Tanner Lee, 4 touchdown passes in the game, no turnovers. He was very good. Look, this kid's talented. He's got ability. Really nice play fake, Ricky. He sold that beautifully and had a good pocket presence to make the throw.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm glad to see Tulane win the ball game, but Central Florida, they don't went down a notch. They're not the same Central Florida they've been the last 2 or 3 years. So take the hat off to Tulane. We're glad to see them win.
Yeah, Teddy Veal making a play. Running game, you know, they had Josh Round step up. They had obviously the performance by Rob Kelly And, you know, you still got Beatty, you still got Thompson. I mean, they got a lot of options at running back. Good to see receivers making play. Devin Breaux making a play here again. Tanner Lee just played very solid football. I really like his play fakes, Brian. That's NFL stuff.
Absolutely. And look, what I like about this game particularly is that they took care of business. I mean, these are the games that Tulane has to win. 7 sacks, a bunch of turnovers, takeaways. So, you know, it's a good win. But now look, you know, Kenny, look at their schedule coming up. They play 4 undefeated teams in the next 4 weeks.
But the offensive line can stay like they did yesterday and give them time to throw the ball, they'll have a great success.
Well, that opportunistic defense, the way they were a couple years back when they went to the bowl game, the Arnell Carriers New Orleans Bowl, that's the key. You saw the sacks, you saw the takeaways, just nominal to be able to achieve those things. Clearly, it's going to get you a win, and that's what happened against a team that wasn't very good, frankly, in Central Florida. And you're right, they're going to step up in terms of their competition level coming up soon. Look forward to seeing what's going to happen. Our first NBC Prep Showcase continues with a Battle of Covington. The Covington Lions and Devin Brumfield, the St. Paul Wolves, and Kenny Sears. This ought to be a really good one. You can watch it live Friday night on sportsNOLA.com, and then Saturday at noon on WHNO TV 20. Again, this should be an excellent game. 2 good programs, 2 good coaches, with Kenny Sears of St. Paul's, Greg Salter of Covington, and we look forward to it. We had an instant classic on WHNO and sportsNOLA this past Friday night, the renewal of the Great American Rivalry, 95th year, Holy Cross and Jesuit. Blue Jays a chance to win it in regulation. Short field goal, oh no, missed it wide right from the right hash mark. And bless his heart, Crew Jacobs could not convert, sends the game to overtime, and the Blue Jays score with Connor Pruitt to score in the first overtime. And they get Holy Cross down to a 4th down from the 10-yard line. Last chance for the Tigers. Jesuit thinks they got to win, especially when it looks like Fields is going to get sacked. The freshman quarterback spins away, and watch this throw. Was he in? Yes, he was. Tremendous camera shot by our crew to capture it and show that he had the foot down one more time. And by the way, not only a great job by our crew, but by the official on the spot too, because that's a tough call. Look at this. 1 foot in, perfect camera shot. In overtime, good play fake, and the bootleg touchdown. Holy Cross back up by a touchdown. Jesuit has their final chance coming up, and the Blue Jays are going to try to wedge it in with the power I from the 4-yard line on 4th and goal. They're going to go with their power to Pruitt. He gets to the 1, but he stood up, driven back, and the Holy Cross Tigers in double overtime prevail over the Jesuit Blue Jays in the Great American Rivalry Series. 28-21, the Carmelettes were happy. So were the Tigers and their great followers. Huge crowd at Tad Gormley Stadium on Friday night. Special game, special rivalry, Brian. 95 years of these great institutions.
I'll tell you what, the Catholic League, I looked at the schedule and the standings right now, Kenny. You've got the good fortune of calling these games. That league is unbelievable, okay? It's what high school football is all about.
Yeah, and I mean, I went to look at Brother Martin the other night against St. Aug, and looking at Pat's-son, the way they played, and see the way St. Aug came back and won the game. I mean, these teams put up 44, 47 points. They put up a lot of points. I know. And I mean, it was just great to see everybody there, man, to see these high schools, how great they playing football around here.
Yeah, fantastic performance by Justice McCoy. The St. Augustine quarterback accounted for 470 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that was a huge win for Coach Al Jones and his Purple Knights. We'll be back in just a moment to talk about Toyota of New Orleans and its great deals as we continue with sportsNOLA TV.